Hey guys, it's Neec trucking along here, and I just want to say thank you to all my followers and my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, following me and subscribing to me and, helping me along my journey and, staying positive. I really appreciate that, and it means a lot to me. So this video is about my test day and some of the things that I might not have mentioned in my other video. Some of the things you need to bring with you on test day is your driver's license. You're going to need your permit, your DOT card, your birth certificate and or passport if you have it. And if you're an overnight student, you're not gonna have a cab card. So they're just gonna say, are you an overnight student or you're not? And you just be like yes or no. But if you have a trainer, they already have your cab card and everything for you. So you'll be able to hand that off to the examiner when they sign you in. So you're going to need to catch the shuttle bus at 6 a.m. at the campus inn, and you're going to get to the Millennium at 6:30, and you guys are going to meet in the East Conference Room. And the East Conference Room is basically where all the tables and stuff is set up. It's that room all the way off to the left if you're walking straight in, but if you're coming from the other way, it's going to be off to your right. And it has like wooden doors and has like a nice glass panel room. And so, you're going to meet there, you're going to check in. But if you're like a retester like I was, because I didn't pass it on the first day, which means I didn't trifecta on the first day at prom. I didn't. So I have to come back, which I did. And you're just going to basically check in like you would do, with the instructor. And then you guys are going to proceed on to the pad. And then depending on, where you're on the list, you're going to have to keep checking it. Now, since I was a retester, I was 11th on the list, which is like I was second to last. So because I'm a W, they go in alphabetical order. So because I was a W, I didn't get to go first. So that was a no-go. So that's what happened with me. And since I on the first day I passed my pre-trip, so I don't have to take my pre-trip again. But I did have to redo my backing. And after I finish backing, that's when you are supposed to go on to your driving. So let me go ahead and continue on with this. Once you get onto the pad, you're going to have to give them your permit. And once you give them your permit, then they're going to be like, we're going to hold on to this, to the end of the test. And then you're going to start doing whatever, backing maneuvers they have you do. So with me, my backing maneuvers was I had the straight back, of course. I had the right side offset, and then I had the left side parallel. And I was like, yes, I love the parallel. Yes, I got this. No problem. Yes. So then, so I started doing them, and, I did it good, no points. I did my straight back, no points. I did my offset, no points. And I went and I did my parallel. Now, normally on the parallel, I'm so confident with the parallel is like, I don't have to get out and look at it. And so I put it in the box easy, just like that, no problem. And so I was like, you know what, just to be safe, I don't want to get too confident, so I was like, I just got out just to get out. And the examiner was looking at me like, girl, what are you doing? Get back in the trunk and honk the horn. But I'm just like, I'm just going to get out just to get out, so I got out. It doesn't hurt to get out. They give you 2 looks. So I walked around the truck, even though I knew I was in the box, I just wanted to be 100%, 1000% sure. So I got back in and I honked the horn. So then he came around and he was like, okay, now we're going to proceed to not backing, excuse me. We're going to proceed to your driving test. And I was like, oh gosh, here we go. So we got onto the road, before we put off, you have to like make the right turn signal and pull out. And if you run over a sidewalk, you fail. If you run through a stoplight, you fail. If you don't stop behind the white line, you fail. And a fail is meaning, they're going to tell you to pull over to the side of the road and they're going to hop in the front seat, which means, you failed. And they basically drive you back. And it's like the most humiliating thing ever. Like, I hated that. So while we're seeing other testers come back, I was just like, no. And so from the overnight class, they were telling me that I was a good driver. I was just too cautious. And so, you know, when I did my first eval on my driving, I got a 22. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. You know, before you point out a driving, you have to, when you point out, you get a 32. You have 32 points and then you fail. So I'm like, okay, you know, I mean, 22 is high, but it'll do. Okay, whatever. Cool, fine, whatever. I'll do with it. So we're driving right, and he was like, okay, after this stoplight, you're going to make a left. And I was like, okay. So I pulled up, you know, I turned the signal on, I went through the light. And then by the time we was going, I think we were going downhill. And I take my test in a flatbed. I didn't take it in a reefer. So we're going down, it was empty. So when we're going downhill, it's like the light was green, but for some reason, the light just went yellow. And I'm like, in overnight class, they tell you if it turns yellow, it's basically meaning a red. So you better stop. Don't try to run through the light because, you know, your butt might not make it through the light, and that's an auto fail. And, you know, if you change your turn signal, you know, in the middle of the intersection, it's an auto fail. You know, if any other cars around you put on their brakes or have to change lanes because of you, it's an auto fail. So it's like you can only do a limited amount of things while you're taking this test. So I was like, oh, I'm not failing this test today. No, I'm not. I slammed on them brakes so hard. The examiner, like if he didn't have his seatbelt on, the examiner would have flown through the window. Like I lie to you not. Like I was so scared. Like I'm at the stoplight. Like I'm so sorry, Mr. Examiner. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to run through the light. And like he's not talking to me. He just has his little paper and he's checking off things on the paper. He's writing stuff. So like I'm like my heart is like this. I'm panicking. So I'm like, oh my God. I failed. So in my head, I'm like, I fucking failed. I didn't pass. But I'm just like, I stopped behind the white line. Okay, that's not an auto fail. I slammed on the brakes. He almost went through the window if he didn't have his seatbelt on. So like all these things was going through my mind. And so then like right after that, probably like 2 minutes later, we're driving by Prime. And I'm like, he about to make me stop and get out the truck and he about to take over. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I don't want to fail. So then, you know, we passed Prime, the Millennium. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we keep on driving. And, you know, he's having me do all these turns and stuff. And by the time we get back, you know, we're pulling into the thing. You know, he parks to the side. And we're just sitting there. And he's marking stuff off on the paper. And I got both hands on the steering wheel. And I'm shaking. I'm like literally like shaking. Like hands on the steering wheel. Like, I failed. I fucking failed. And that's what I'm thinking in my head. So then, you know, I guess he's done marking on his paper. And he looks over to me and he says, Miss Wiggins, you passed. I was like, oh, you're lying. I passed. Me. I passed. He was like, yeah, you passed. So you could stop worrying, you know, you passed everything. He's like, here's your temporary. You need to go get your real one. So then I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I was in tears. Like, but they were happy tears. But I was just like, it was crazy. And I'm just like, I can't believe I passed. And he was like, if I would have ran that light, he would have failed me. But he's like, because I stopped behind the white line, he passed me. And the points, I got 23 points. 23. I got 23 points. And he was like, you're a very good driver. You're very cautious. You know, you talked me through everything that you were going to do, you know. And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, you know, I'm in tears. So I'm already worked up. Like everything he's telling me is going in one ear and out the other. So then, you know, I parked the truck. We get out the truck and we go fill out these paperwork. And so basically this is the paperwork. This is what they give you. And it's basically saying, you know, that you took the test and you passed the test. You're going to get, you know, 3 different sheets. One sheet is for the pre-trip. One sheet is for the, you know, backing and the driving. And so he's going to rip off. You're going to sign it and he's going to rip it off. And then he's going to be like, now you're on your way. So once he says that, you basically you have to go to the DMV. You have to, you know, go get your TWIC card. And once you sign up for your TWIC card, it's like 2 seconds. Like it's really fast. It's not even like, it's not time consuming at all. After you get your TWIC card, then you go right over to the, it's driver's lineup. And then you go get your ID. And then once you get your ID, like Then you get to go get your hat. And hold on, I'm gonna show you guys my hat because my hat is like the bomb. I love it. It's not pink, but you know, I still love it. So this is my hat. I like it. I wish it was pink, but it's not. It says Prime Ink, driven by the best. Reefer Division. So I wear it almost like every day. They're actually like really comfortable. It is a little fasten snapper thing. So it fits my head for the most part. I mean, I have a tiny head, you know. I don't got that much hair as you can see. So, you know, that's how I love my hat. Like I really do. And it has like the little fasteners on it. That's really, really cool. Like I think it's so cool that that comes onto the hat. So as soon as I finished my paperwork, I went down to Linda Brown, and I was like, Linda Brown, you know, my mom bought me a plane ticket, blah blah blah. You know, I can show you my plane ticket information. And so, you know, I told her I wanted to take some home time. So once I told her that, she was just like, okay, you know, you don't got to show me your plane ticket, you know, we're going to send you home. I was like, you know, you don't have to send me home. I have my plane ticket. I'm not catching the Greyhound. No, that's a no-go. I would never catch the Greyhound again. Like that, I think was literally a prime hazing thing because the Greyhound sucks. I mean, it's free, but it sucks. So, yeah, not doing that again. And I'm like, she already bought my plane ticket. So she's like, oh, okay, well, you know, just keep in contact with us, every week or so, and, you know, let us know what's going on. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll do that for you guys, you know. And so I got on the plane to go to my hometown. Well, not my hometown because I'm from Texas, but back to the DMV. And so, you know, to visit my family, you know, and to show them, you know, my CDL license and all the troubles I went through and, you know, me and my crying and, you know, me failing here and failing there. And then, you know, finally I passed. So it was just a lot. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. But heading to the plane tomorrow. So keep you guys posted.